Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra Ihis here. First of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you to those of you that have seen my previous videos, and if you're here to check them out, please don't forget to do so. And also, if you're here to subscribe to my channel, please click on the subscribe tag down below. Thank you very much. So today we're talking about dealing with difficult people. I mean, I'm sure everyone, if you don't, good for you, but I'm sure most people have at least one difficult person in their life, or people even, and I want to say that the best way to deal with them is just to like cry out in the middle of the night, recite some incarnations, and call their names like 10 times for them to come back to their senses, or for them to just disappear from your life. But unfortunately, you know what, that's not how it works. Please don't do that, okay? Don't, okay? Anyways, so I'm going to be sharing some tips on how I think we can deal with difficult people, or at least this is how I deal with the people that I deem difficult in my life. The first thing to do is do not internalize the problem. Oftentimes when a person react or speak to us in such a way that we deem are uncalled for or undeserving, or just being mean to us, we're like, okay, where is that coming from? Did I do something wrong? Why is this person speaking to me this way? And our reaction is to scream back, to fight back, to use the same words, to attack, which of course we always have to stand up for ourselves. But when you begin to think of the problem as something you've done, you're constantly going to want to fight. You're constantly going to want to be on the battlefield. So try to remember that 98% of the time when a person is reacting to you or acting in a way that just can't be justified or that's just unpleasant, remember that it's more about them than it is about you. So try not to internalize the problem. And that's something I tend not to do. Like whenever someone just speaks to me in a way that is rude or disrespectful or that is just mean, uncalled for, I tend to just take a step back and be like, okay, all right, there is nothing I've done to warrant such a behavior, so okay, you know what, I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to even take it personally. In simple terms, don't take things personally, especially if you've done nothing wrong to even warrant such a behavior from a person. Just be like, you know what, it's not me, it's them, so I'm just going to be silent. This is my second point. I know sometimes silence can be sometimes seen as acceptance, tolerance, accommodated, it can be seen as weakness, which isn't the case, by the way, but sometimes it can be seen as those things, especially when you're dealing with a difficult person that is on the extreme spectrum. They might want to see it as, okay, she's not saying anything, he's not saying anything, then clearly he likes my behavior, or clearly he or she can tolerate my behavior, which isn't the case. So that's why sometimes, of course, we do need to speak up, but oftentimes silence is just key, because the truth is, if you're going to constantly keep attacking, keep fighting back, for how long are you going to do that? For how long are you willing to engage and give your energy in that way? Because think about it, if you are dealing with a difficult person, you know how they are. They're never willing to back down, they're never willing to give up. They're constantly in this battle, constantly wanting to just taunt you, or even if it's not the extreme type of difficulty, but people that are just not pleasant, what at least people we deem to be unpleasant, you know how they are. They're never going to accept what you say. So for how long are you willing to fight and attack? And it's draining. It's not even healthy. It's not for your mental, emotional, physical well-being. How long are you willing to give that energy? Because it's almost as though they feed off that energy. And I know sometimes silence can also be dangerous, in the sense that if you are dealing with, once again, a person that's on the extreme spectrum, or someone that is toxic or even abusive, they might take your silence as you trying to make them feel stupid, and they might want to manipulate you and just play the victim card, or even times begin to react or act in a way that is violent towards you. I mean, in an ideal world, you would think that if a person is silent, someone else would back off and stop fighting, but it's not always the case. People are just more complicated and more complex than we can fully understand. But nonetheless, I would say silence is golden, because how long do you want to keep fighting? So just take a step back and be quiet, almost like reevaluating, or just choosing not to give out your energy in such a manner. Number 3, asking questions. I not just spoke about being silent, but I do feel like when we want to engage we should ask questions rather than attack back. And of course I know that every context is different, but questions are such a powerful tool to use, because once you ask a question, it's almost as though people never expect that. And it's almost like when a person is in such a state where they just want to cause or bring confusion to someone else's life, their brain is almost just extremely active. And once you put out that question, it's almost like, okay, they're shocked, they're taken back, and it kind of brings them to a standstill. And I know this doesn't happen all the time, but oftentimes people never expect a question. So once you put out a question, it's almost like, okay, what just happened? And also you're also able to get an understanding as to why they're acting or speaking to you in such a manner, because you're also not trying to put yourself at jeopardy or just put yourself in a state of confusion and just exhaustion. In as much as I know we're not trying to do the emotional and mental labor for people, but sometimes we do need to do it for our own well-being, for our own sanity, for our own hearts. You want to live in a state of peace and joy and happiness. So if you're going to want to fight back and give them as they give to you, for how long are we going to do that? So asking questions is such a powerful tool, because it also gives you control. It gives you you become in charge of the situation. I'm just here thinking about when I was younger, and I think I was maybe 15. I had just finished high school, and in Nigeria, well, for me anyways, I knew I wasn't going to study in Nigeria, so I didn't even write entrance exams to get into universities there, because I was like, I'm not going there, so there's no point in racking my brain and studying. So I had free time on my hands before I traveled. And I remember saying to my mom that I wanted to go for dancing lessons. I like to dance. I love to dance. So I told my mom I wanted to go for dancing classes and lessons. She was like, nope, you're going for computer lessons. I was like, no, but I want to go for dancing lessons. She was like, no, you're going for computer lessons. And this wasn't the first time where she had turned down my request or turned down what I wanted, my decisions. I was like, and I was so frustrated, and I started throwing tantrums. Then I finally got to the point where I asked her a question, Mom, why are you always just refusing the things I want to do? And she was like, well, that was because one time you told me that you were going for your friend's birthday party, but you weren't, or it wasn't the case, you had lied. And I was just like, hold on, wait a minute, wait, that was like years ago, woman, what are you talking about? But in as much as I felt like, okay, that wasn't fair, that wasn't a fair basis for her to keep treating me the way she was doing, but at least it gave me some self-understanding as to where she was coming from. So a one-line question, just one question can give you an answer that you need, can reveal to you what you truly need in that situation, rather than throwing tantrums and just fighting back in a way that that won't yield any result. And my last point is setting boundaries. I know oftentimes people think that every moment is a teachable moment. In all honesty, I don't think every moment is a teachable moment, because the context, the person, the tension, a lot of things comes into play. There's so many things that factor in when you want to teach a person, or when you want to speak. So it's about drawing boundaries, knowing when to teach a person, knowing when to just be like, you know what, I don't think it's okay for you to speak to me in that way, knowing when to be silent, knowing when to engage, and also knowing that, okay, this person might just be a tad bit difficult for me, and I know that whenever I'm around them, it just puts me in an uncomfortable position, knowing when to move away. And I really do hope that if you ever find yourself in a position or in a space where you feel so threatened, and your peace of mind is constantly being provoked and being threatened, you're constantly living on the edge because you're trying not to step on someone's toes, I really do hope that you have an opportunity to leave such a space. I know sometimes it's not really easy, because that person or those people can be your family members, they can be your work colleagues, and you don't want to quit a job just because of people are difficult. So I really hope that these tips of mine are able to help you and give you the results that you desire. And I know that every situation is different, and it might not work for you the way that it worked for me, but I do hope that you're able to apply it in a way that it works for you, because you are the master of your own life. And you understand the people in your world more than I do. But I just hope that these tips will somewhat be helpful and help you, and just kind of put things into perspective. So let's just quickly count them down again. So the first one is try not to internalize the issue or the problem or the person's drama. Drama is I find drama to be somewhat a derogatory term, but I'm sorry about that if you also feel the same way. But yeah, try not to internalize the problem or the situation. Number 2, remember that silence is golden. Know that, you know what, I don't have to just give my energy to this person. Number 3, ask questions, because that might give you understanding, and also that gives you an upper hand if we're trying to play the power game. And number 4, setting your boundaries, knowing when to speak, knowing when to step back, knowing how often you should engage with a person. I really do hope these tips have been helpful, and please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section, and also please share this video, like, and also if you disagree with what I've said, also let me know. If you have contributions, let me know. Tell me, how do you deal with the difficult people, or at least the people you find or deem difficult in your life. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're still yet to do so, and until next time, bye.